Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to start our look at Paranoid Android by Radiohead. So this one's a bit of a challenge here. We're going to have a couple of lessons that'll take care of the whole thing for you. Just pretty much all the chords and all the riffs and all the different sections we've got coming up. So let's start here with this intro. We're in standard tuning, and this intro is this kind of main verse part intro thing is pretty difficult, pretty challenging. So just kind of I'll break it down chord by chord and show you what I'm doing with the picking hand as well. So let's start here by holding the 8th fret on both the low E string, the G string, and the B string. Alright, so we're going to be doing a lot of down, up picking. So we're going to be picking down on the bottom note and then up on the B string. Then you're going to, so we have this. Then you can pick that low note again with a downstroke, and then the G string. So we have this. So it's important to get the timing there. Kind of listen how it kind of pauses in some notes. All right, now we're going to pick the bottom string again, and then we're going to go to the open A string. See, we're not holding that. And you hit that in there with an upstroke. So we have this. Now hold the 6th fret across the low E string and the A string together. And we're going to pick down, up on the A, down on the low E, up on the A, then down the low E again. So we keep going down to that low E string between each note. And then back to the B. You're still holding those two 8s up there. Back to the low E string and then to the 8 on the G string. And then you're going to finish this one up by picking this low string again, and then that open A string right there. So far, real slow. All right. So when you get it all together and get up to speed, it sounds. You have that open A in there, it's like, oh, that doesn't sound right, but it does when you get it up to speed. Then we have the next chord shape. So you still have those two 8s here on the B and the G string. Now you're going to add an 8 on the A string, and you're going to do this figure. So we got. So for a second there, the picking pause. So we're going to start here on the 8th fret here on the A string, and then pick that with 2 downstrokes. Then after that second downstroke, upstroke on the B, back down to the 5th string, and then the upstroke on the G. Then the open A string twice. The first time, you're not going to have an upstroke after, so it's just a downstroke by itself in the open A. And then you're going to pick the A string again, then follow it with an upstroke on the G string, and then the 6th fret here on the low E string now. Back to that G string. And then 6th fret again on the low E, and then the open A to end it as this chord as well. So that chord sounds like this. I'm sorry. Alright, so as you're picking that A, that gives your hand a chance to shift down, since it's an open string, to playing pretty much the same chord shape we started with, which is 2 fingers here on the B and the G, but they're at the 3rd fret now, and then that 3rd fret as well on the low E string. So we're going to have this phrase there. Alright, so I'll slow that down here. We're going to have we're going to slightly pause at the very beginning again. The timing's a little bit different. Then it starts going straight 16th notes again. Just down, up, down, up. The low E string, and then the upstroke on the B. Then you start doing straight 16ths. You're going to be picking the low, keep going down to the low E. Then to pick the G string. Then to do that again. So we have this. Then we have the open A string is the bass note now. You're going to pick that, open A, and then the 3rd string, open A again, and the B string. So far. I'm sorry, I do need to do that again. And then we're gonna just add the first fret here on the A string to finish it up. Take a downstroke on the A, then upstroke on the G. You do that twice. That whole chord now. Alright, so that's all the intricate picking, and then we're going to end it with these 3 chords, which is going to be the 2nd fret on the D, 3rd fret on the G, and 3rd fret on the B. Now you can kind of strum these, maybe arpeggiate them a little bit. So it goes for those 3 notes, and then you just lower to the 2nd fret on the G for the next chord. And then you just lower it to the open string on that G. So move this finger over and play the 2nd fret on the D string with the 2nd finger there now. Open G and the 3rd fret on the B string. Now there's a low E string in there that's an overdub, so you can just, if you want to hit that in there and just kind of do those chords over it. Then it goes back to this G figure that we did earlier, just right before, with the same 3 chords to end it. So here's the entire riff, really slow, because that we just repeat from there. So I'll just go through the whole thing there, since it's such an important part of the song. So here we go. And then it would just start over from there. So out of that, we have this. Alright, so we have basically we played this chord before, 3rd fret on the low E string and the B and the G. You pick the low E, then the 3rd string, and then the high E, then B, G. So you're going to continue that picking pattern. So that same picking pattern, now you're going to change the notes in the left hand. 1st fret on the low E, 2nd fret on the G string, and keep that little finger there at the 3rd fret. Still the high E string is open, so we have this. Same picking, so it's just on twice. Now we're gonna do the same picking again, except you're gonna just do the low E open, and then it's gonna be the 1st fret on the G string, along with still this little finger stays there. All together. Repeat. And the 2nd time through, pick it 4 times on this E. Then back to the beginning, just so back to that main riff again. And those parts kind of rotate between each other until we get to this next part, which sounds like this. So we just have some single note riffs there. The guitar, the electric should be coming in and playing that soon. So we have just 1, 2, 3 just on the open A string, then 3, then back to the open A, and then to the 4th fret on the low E, 3 times, and then 3, 5 on the A string. It's kind of palm muted there in the beginning when it's on the acoustic. All right, so the second time through, it's a little bit different. All right, so we had the same beginning, but as soon as you get to that 4th fret, you just hit it once, jump back up to the 5th string, and you're gonna hit 5th fret, open twice, and then the 5th fret. And then a couple of just quick little down up that's a muted strum. All right, then you start those 2 back over again. All right, now from there, the last part in this first video, I'm going to show you the little part that it comes out of there. All right, so that obviously involves a lot of playing around with the thumb on the low bass string. That's how he plays it. That's why I'm teaching it that way. I know some people just don't like playing that straight, that kind of style. So if not, you can just just play the chords as bar chords if you want. But I'm going to play it like he does. So we're going to start here on this 8th fret with your thumb here on the low E string, and then the 8th fret on the B, 9th on the G, and 10th on the D string. And then you're going to add the 10th fret to make it a suspended C sus chord on the G string. All right, then shift back down here to the 4th fret. You're going to have your thumb here on the low E string, and then on that 4th fret, 6th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, 6th fret on the B. Strum that a few times. Mute the notes around it, and then shift up here and play the same chord we did here at the 8th fret, but here at the 6th fret, just hit it twice and jump back and start over. And then after the last, just play that 8, 7, 6, and just kind of strums that goes back. All right, so look at more of those parts and variations on it in the next video, and including the ending, really cool ending acoustic section. I'll see you then.